Are you able to see my slides now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Very warm welcome and good morning to all of you on this wonderful Wednesday. And I've been
Good
assigned
morning, sir.
the thank you. I've been assigned the task to speak on time management, samay ka sadupyog. That is very very important because the major challenge that we face in our times is that everybody says that I'm really short of time. If only I could have a couple of hours more, my life would be more comfortable and I would be able to adjust more work and more comfort in my life. So आज मैं बहुत सुंदर कहानी आपको सुनाता हूँ कि एक महात्मा रोड के किनारे बैठा हुआ था, तपस्या कर रहा था, तो वो बोले जा रहा था कि भाई आपको जो चाहिए जीवन में मिलेगा, आपको जो चाहिए जीवन में मिलेगा। एंड पीपल वर जस्ट पासिंग बाय, उनसे मिल रहे थे लेकिन मुस्कुराते हुए जा रहे थे। तो एक लड़का उसके पास आया, वो बहुत परेशान रहता था, टेंशन में रहता था और आकर उस महात्मा के पास गया कि आप कह रहे हैं जो चाहिए मुझे मिलेगा, विल यू बी एबल टू गिव मी वट एवर आई वॉन्ट। तो उसने कहा यस, मैं अपनी ज़िंदगी में सक्सेसफुल होना चाहता हूँ, आप मुझे बताइए।
अरे ऊपर कहाँ है यार, सुबह से तो 50 फॉर्म आ गए।
किसका ऊपर है?
अरे बोला तो ऊपर ही।
May I continue please?
Yes, sir.
So my humble request to you in importance of your and my time, if you can keep the participants on mute in case they are interested on listening, so that will be very nice. So anyway, so वो व्यक्ति वहाँ पर आया और जाकर उस महात्मा से बोला कि भाई आप मुझे बताइए कि मैं अपनी ज़िंदगी में सफल होना चाहता हूँ, आई रियली वांट टू बी हैप्पी इन माई लाइफ। तो उसने कहा मैं तुम्हें एक हीरा दूंगा, एक मोती दूंगा, आई विल गिव यू 2 pearls इन योर लाइफ टू कीप विद योरसेल्फ। तो उसने कहा कि मुझे जो था, उसने मुझे जो कहा था, उसने कहा कि भाई आपको मैं एक अपनी पहले हाथ आके लाओ। तो हाथ लाकर उसने एक छोटी सी पर्ची लिखी और पर्ची लिखकर कहा कि व्हेनेवर यू हैव प्रॉब्लम इन योर लाइफ एट एनी टाइम, व्हाट यू डू इज इस पर्ची को खोलना एंड यू विल गेट द सॉल्यूशन ऑफ योर लाइफ। तो उसने कहा बहुत बढ़िया बात है। फिर उसने कहा अगर प्रॉब्लम आए और उसके बाद भी सॉल्व ना हो, देन यू ओपन द सेकंड पर्ची। और उसने सेकंड पर्ची पर भी उसे कुछ लिख कर दिया और उसको उसने नोट करके अपने पास रख लिया। वो व्यक्ति बहुत खुश हुआ, ही हैड गॉट 2 mantras ऑफ हिज लाइफ फॉर हिम, और वो अपने घर चला गया। ही वेंट बैक होम, ही स्टार्टेड वर्किंग हार्ड एंड कुछ समय बाद व्हेन ही वाज डूइंग गुड वर्क इन हिज प्रोफेशन, सडनली ही फेस्ड अ सिग्निफिकेंट चैलेंज। तो उसने उसको उस समय की ध्यान आई एंड ही ओपनड अप द फर्स्ट स्मॉल लेटर, दैट पेपर दैट सेंट हैड गिवन हिम। उसने उस पर देखा तो लिखा हुआ था कि अगर तुम जिंदगी में सक्सेसफुल होना चाहते हो तो अपने समय का हमेशा सदुपयोग करना। वो बहुत खुश हुआ, उसने कहा दिस इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट, ये समय भी बीत जाएगा, आई रियली हैव टू यूज माई टाइम प्रॉपरली। एंड ही स्टार्टेड वर्किंग मेटिकुलसली ऑन हिज टाइम एंड अगेन गॉट सक्सेस। After some time he faced another problem in his life. At that time he was thinking that what should I do? और उसने उस समय दूसरी पर्ची खोली और उस पर्ची पर बहुत सुंदर लिखा हुआ था कि अगर समय का सदुपयोग करते हुए भी तुम्हें जीवन में सफलता ना मिले, तब तुम जीवन में सदा धैर्यता रखना। दैट मीन्स यू ऑलवेज बी पेशेंट इन योर लाइफ। तो वो व्यक्ति बहुत खुश हुआ, लेकिन उसके मन में एक प्रश्न आ रहा था और वो सीधे सेंट के पास गया, महात्मा के पास गया और महात्मा के पास जाकर उसने उनसे बात करी और जाकर बोला कि महात्मा जी ये बताइए कि आप कहते हैं कि समय का सदुपयोग करो और जीवन के अंदर धैर्यता रखो, लेकिन धैर्यता रखने से विल आई ऑलवेज गेट सक्सेस इन माई लाइफ? उसने कहा ये पॉसिबल है। तो उसने कहा कि आप ये बताओ, अगर धैर्यता से सक्सेस मिल सकती है तो क्या पानी को आप छन्नी के अंदर कैप्चर कर सकते हो? तो वो मुस्कुराने लगा। उसने कहा बेटा, अगर यू हैव पेशेंस, अगर इतनी धैर्यता तुम्हारे में है कि पानी जो है वो बर्फ बन जाए, तो तुम इसको भी अचीव कर सकते हो। So my dear friends, that is the most important thing. The two most powerful warriors, two most powerful tools that we are gifted with in our life are patience and time. That patience and time. So that is very important कि हमारे पास जो most powerful warriors हैं वो है हमारी patience और हमारा समय। The only problem that we have is that trouble is that we think that we have time. आज हमारे पास इतनी फास्ट लाइफ है, हम सोचते हैं हमारे को समय मिल जाएगा, हम कार्य करेंगे, बट वी मस्ट रिमेंबर दैट टाइम ऑलवेज फ्लाइज, समय उड़ता चला जाता है। बट इसके साथ एक अच्छी न्यूज़ भी है कि उस समय के उड़ने के अंदर जो पायलट है वो हम स्वयं हैं। अपने समय को हमें कैसे नेविगेट करना है, दैट इज कंप्लीटली इन अवर ओन हैंड्स। वी आर द पायलट ऑफ अवर ओन लाइफ। अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी रियलाइज ओनली व्हेन द टाइम फ्लाइज। जब हमारा समय चला जाता है तब एक्चुअली हम इस चीज़ को रियलाइज करते हैं। और दोस्तों, समय का सदुपयोग ना करने के कारण, उसकी वैल्यू को ना समझने के कारण एक दिन में जो हमको 1440 मिनट रोज मिलते हैं, उनको प्रॉपरली कैटेगराइज या चैनलाइज ना करने के कारण आज हमारी लाइफ में कहीं ना कहीं संयम खो जाता है. If you see the professional life when you face inefficient workflows, low work quality, major organizations, it's not only about your organization, major challenges in the present organizations are missing the deadlines, missing the appointments, procrastination, कल हम कर लेंगे, lack of focus in our life. अपने घर के अंदर भी आप देखिए, बच्चों के अंदर lack of focus, बच्चों के अंदर lack of that energy to do that particular thing, poor professional reputation. These are the challenges that we are facing repeatedly. Not only this, besides professional, you see your personal time. There is a significant balance. परिवारों के अंदर संबंध, the beautiful relations of our family are getting strained and strained. In these COVID times, the divorce rate is increased significantly. Anger, anxiety, turmoils in relationships is significantly high. And why all these things are happening? Both personal and professional life is becoming imbalanced. This is because of the lack of balance in our life. वो जीवन के अंदर जो संयम होना चाहिए, जो जीवन के अंदर जो बैलेंस होना चाहिए, वो कहीं ना कहीं हम अपनी लाइफ से खो चुके हैं. तो दोस्तों, टुडे वी विल गो ऑन अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल जर्नी, एंड दिस जर्नी विल बी फ्रॉम माइंडफुल. जो आज हमारी सिचुएशन है, लुक एट दिस माइंड, hundreds and hundreds of tasks to complete, to a beautiful complete mindful, that is a relaxed mind. Optimal time management creates a balanced life. अगर हमारे जीवन में सुख और शांति है, what are the indicators that your time management is beautiful? You will lead a life which is happy. You will lead a life which is very very happy. आपको जीवन के अंदर वर्क होगा, लेकिन वर्क के साथ प्रेशर नहीं होगा. You will enjoy working whatever you are doing if you are managing your time properly. You will be very comfortable. You will never be stressed out. You will always be comfortable in doing whatever you are doing in your life. Always you will have time for everything. And second, there will be a state of peace in your mind. मन बहुत शांत होगा. It will always be very comfortable and very very peaceful. This is important for all of us to realize. आपकी complete life organized होगी. But unfortunately, most of us today, we are missing deadlines. हमारी जीवन के अंदर तनाव है, क्रोध है, anger, irritation, hatred, jealousy, complaint, criticism. These have become integral part of our life. So what are those magical mantras? What are those beautiful laws that govern our life? Where are small mistakes that we are making in our life? आज उसके बारे में मैं आपको scientific perspective दूंगा. Let me tell you, what I'm going to speak today is not just my opinion, but it is all scientifically studied principles. और आपको कोई major change नहीं लाना है. You just have to bring small and simple and rational changes in your life that will completely transform your life. So let us start our journey. And these are the 7-8 most powerful laws and traps that govern our time and life. अब इन ट्रैप्स और इन टाइम एंड लॉज को अपनी लाइफ से आप रिलेट करिएगा. और हर लॉ हमको एक मैसेज देकर जाता है, हमको एक पावरफुल मंत्र देकर जाता है. एंड दैट पावरफुल लॉज एंड मंत्र कैन कंप्लीटली ट्रांसफॉर्म आवर लाइफ. द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ टाइम दैट गवर्न्स आवर लाइफ इज कॉल्ड द पार्किंसंस लॉ. ये पार्किंसंस लॉ इज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल लॉ. हम लोग रोज इसको देखते हैं. और ये लॉ कहता है कि वर्क विल एक्सपैंड टू फिल द टाइम अवेलेबल फॉर इट्स कंप्लीशन. That means if you are given a time period to do a task of 1 day, and if you are given a time period of task to do that particular same task in 1 week, you will also be able to do that work in 1 day, and you will also be able to do that task in 1 week. Your work will continuously expand to fill that particular time. So more time, less effort is needed, but less time, more effort is needed. So look at this. अगर हमको कोई भी टाइम कंप्लीट करना है, अगर हमको 8 घंटे हैं, तो हमारा एफर्ट कम होता जाएगा. वी विल बिकम लेजी, विल नॉट चैनलाइज अवर टाइम, और उसी टास्क को हम प्रोलॉन्ग करते चले जाते हैं. एंड दैट इज अ मेजर चैलेंज दैट टुडे वी फेस इन अवर ओन पर्सनल एंड प्रोफेशनल लाइफ. इफ गिवन अ प्रेशर और इफ गिवन अ डेडलाइन, वी विल ट्राई टू फिनिश दैट पर्टिकुलर टास्क वेरी फास्ट, और उसके बाद हम लोग फ्री हो सकते हैं. लेकिन क्योंकि हम उस टास्क को बहुत प्रोलॉन्ग कर देते हैं, हमको लगता है कि समय है भाई, 8 दिन है, 9 दिन है, वी विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग वेरी स्लो, एंड व्हाट विल हैपन इज आवर वर्क विल कंटिन्यूअसली एक्सपैंड. It's just like, it is very, very simple. Why? Because we are improperly delegating our work and our time to any particular task. So that is why this law teaches us a very beautiful lesson, that we must set reasonable and realistic deadlines for accomplishment of our task. And we should make and regularly follow the progress of our task. This is very important. For any organization and individual to be successful, reasonable targets, not a stress out targets. Let me tell you, the word is reasonable and realistic target. अगर उसी टारगेट को हम एक महीने में कर सकते हैं and we give a deadline of 6 months, then what we are doing is we are making our institution, our people more and more lazy. They won't be working. But if that particular task needs to be achieved in 1 month and we give them a deadline of 10 days or 15 days, we are unnecessarily making them stressed out. So this law is a beautiful law, and how to apply this law, we will work out in next 7 mantras. The second law that governs our time is called Carlson's law. Very beautiful law. It says that a task can be completed in one single stretch, will be completed much faster rather than having multiple attempts. Why? ये बहुत कॉमन है. डॉक्टर कार्लसन ने ये इतना सुंदर लॉ दिया कि अगर आप एक बारी एक स्ट्रेच में किसी कार्य को कर सकते हैं और उसी को आप बार बार छोटे छोटे इंटरवल्स में करते हैं, तो उसके अंदर हमारी एनर्जी एंड टाइम दोनों सिग्निफिकेंटली जाता है. दिस इज द रीजन दैट मोस्ट ऑफ अस कंप्लेन. एक फाइल, एक टारगेट, एक चीज को हम लेकर बैठेंगे. वी हैव द टाइम, वी हैव द एनर्जी, एवरीथिंग, बट व्हाट वी विल डू इज वी विल अननेसेसरली टेक अनअवॉइडेबल ब्रेक्स. And this may make us comfortable for some particular time, but the task will not or see the light of the day in a delayed manner. Look at this. Once we are working continuously, the target is achieved much faster, but interrupted work delays our task. This does not mean that we unnecessarily stretch ourselves. No, that is not the message. The message is that when we are working on a task permanently or continuously, sometimes we allow the distractions to completely disturb us. That is what is the message. The message is not to strain yourself. Now, message is to avoid the distractions. मोबाइल फोन है, व्हाट्सएप है, नोटिफिकेशन है, अननेसेसरी कॉल्स हैं, अननेसेसरी अवॉइडेबल टास्क हैं. उन चीज़ों को हम अपने इंपॉर्टेंट टास्क के बीच में whenever we bring, we are becoming distracted, and whenever we are distracted, we won't be able to achieve that task continuously, and that interruptions will make our energy lose, and we will get more and more stressed out. And I'll tell you what are the distractions that we face. The biggest distraction today that we have is our mobile phone. Now you see the mobile phone. In 100 rupees on a mobile, you get millions of songs. You get 1 lakh plus hours of movies free. You get 400 plus of channels. You get 100 plus magazines, and you get hundreds of newspapers. So distraction today is not only accessible, but distraction today is affordable also. आज से 20 साल पहले when मोबाइल हम यूज करते थे तो उस समय एक कॉल का कॉस्ट होता था 8 रुपए, 10 रुपए, 15 रुपए और मे बी 2 rupees. Today calls and everything is free. Internet is practically free. And that is why this is a distraction which is becoming accessible and affordable. And you see that what is eating up your time? Your social media. India after China is the top internet user in the world. An average Indian is spending almost 8 hours every day on the device. Imagine, the data from the sources say that almost 8 hours is spent on the social media. Now imagine अगर इतना टाइम हमारे 24 घंटे में से जाएगा, what will be the state of our mind? And this is what is called the digital cocaine. The digital cocaine. We are decreasing our productivity and our growth. Continuously consuming that digital cocaine is taking away our energy. 55% of the people are having other distractions at the workplace are because of the mobile phones. And 75% of the employees say that 2.5 hours are spent on these distractions. Now imagine, अगर ऐसा state of mind होगा, continuous interruptions होगा, we won't be able to achieve any task fruitfully. Look at these times, the earlier times when we had pagers and cell phones. What were the times? Earlier time में हमारे distraction का जो time period होता था वो long होता था. Half an hour, 45 minutes, we were able to focus on our work in 1980s, early 1990s, and almost nearly early 2000s. But now, with emails, with internet, with various social media, blogs, with Facebook, with Twitter, with WhatsApp, everybody coming thing, the interruption time, the time between interruptions has practically reduced asymptomatically and is approaching zero. You will start working and you will continuously check your notifications. हर 2-3 मिनट में हम अपने मोबाइल को चेक करेंगे, व्हाट्सएप को चेक करेंगे, and we will lose the focus on our work. And this is called continuous partial attention. आप एक काम पे करेंगे, फिर दूसरे पे स्विच करेंगे, दूसरे से तीसरे पे स्विच करेंगे, and you are continuously distracting your own self. So that is why this distraction completely destroys our focus. हमारा जब distraction आता है हमारा attention span कम हो जाता है, attention span कम, and we won't be able to achieve a task in a comfortable manner. So this Carlson's law teaches us to reduce the interruptions as much as possible. Checking the emails only twice, avoiding the multitasking. So all these practical techniques which I'll be telling you in the 7 mantras that will help you in organizing your time. The third law that governs our time is the Labyrinth law, that is called the principle of least effort. That means we human beings in our workplace, we have a natural tendency, we have a natural inclination to postpone our difficult and complicated tasks. अगर हमको कोई भी difficult situation आएगी, difficult complication आएगी, 80 to 90% of the people will instinctively postpone it for tomorrow or next time, and we will choose the path of least resistance, and this is called Labyrinth's law. And this is what is called as प्रोकेस्टिनेशन, यानी आज नहीं कल कर लेंगे, कल नहीं परसों कर लेंगे. हम टिपिकल ऑफिस में जाते हैं, क्या होता है, फाइल हाँ कल होगी जी, परसों होगी, इट विल हैपन डे आफ्टर टुमारो. प्रोकेस्टिनेशन. And this is giving us a pseudo pleasure or a pseudo satisfaction that work will be accomplished sooner or later. Let me tell you, this law very clearly tells us that the biggest challenge of our life, the biggest challenge is to do the task at the same time. And that is why this teaches us the lesson that start your work with the most difficult task, hardest task, and offer yourself with a reward. इस law को frog phenomena कहते हैं, that I will be discussing in the mantra. So remember this, that procrastination is caused because we are postponing our difficult task for tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or maybe later. And that is why we let go of the proper time management in our life. The fourth law that governs our life, the time management, is called the law of diminishing returns. That means beyond a certain threshold, अगर आपके पास एक ह्यूमन कैपेसिटी है, उस कैपेसिटी के बियॉन्ड आप अगर उस वर्क को स्ट्रेच करते हैं, योर परफॉर्मेंस विल बिकम नेगेटिव. दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दैट इज व्हाई when some people say I work non-stop, मैंने उसको 16 घंटे 18 घंटे लगा के कराया, yes, it is important, sometimes it is necessary also, but it is always recommended to take short breaks. इसके लिए बहुत पावरफुल टेक्निक्स आज साइंस ने हमको दी हैं, like Pomodoro techniques, which I'll be discussing with you. So we must remember that prolonged unnecessary working on a particular job can sometimes be very very harmful for us. The fifth law that governs our life is called the Pareto principle, and that is called the law of vital few, the 80-20 principle. What they say is that 80% of the effect in your day comes by the 20% of the possible causes. यानी अगर आप दिन में 100 वर्क कर रहे हैं, if you are doing 100 jobs in a day and your day is fruitful to 100%, then out of those 100 tasks that you are doing, the result of is being produced, 80% of your success is being produced only by the 20% of the task. केवल 20% जो टास्क है वही आपके जीवन में 80% सक्सेस जो है उसको दोस्तों प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है. एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड द परेटो प्रिंसिपल. एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई सजेस्ट दैट आपके दिन में प्रायोरिटाइज करिए. आपके दिन में अगर आपको 10 या 20 काम करने हैं, उन 10 या 20 काम में से 100 कामों में से 20 मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट काम पर जब आप फोकस करेंगे, आपकी लाइफ में यू विल गेट 80% सक्सेस ऑटोमेटिकली. This is very important. So focus on the top 20 tasks of your day, and that is what is called as the Pareto principle. And I will tell you the technique how to do it when we discuss about the techniques of time management. The sixth law that governs our life is called the law of schedule slipping. That means Dr. Hofstadter very nicely prescribed that practically it will always take longer than what you expect. अगर कोई भी कार्य को हम करते हैं, and if I say I think it will take 40 minutes or 1 hour to do that particular law, Hofstadter suggests you that if you think it is 1 hour, actual time taken will be even longer. So we must take into account that particular time, even when you are taking account of this law. So that is why the graph shows is that when you are starting a work, you think this will take 30 minutes. That is right. But if you account for the Hofstadter's law, आप कहते हैं भाई Hofstadter कहते हैं कि you take out more time, You increase the time for that particular task, that is also fine. You further increase, and the actual time that you will take is even longer. And that is why it clearly suggests you to not overcommit and also not undercommit. It is very important is that project managers and team should estimate the time more and more comprehensively to complete a particular project. अगर हम ओवर कमिट कर देंगे, it will put unnecessary pressure on our life, and if we under commit to our organization, we are bluffing ourselves and we are making an improperly and injudiciously using our time. So proper planning of the time is very, very important in our life. And seventh important effect or law is called the Zeigarnik Effect. Zeigarnik Effect is given by Dr. Zeigarnik, and it is very beautiful. It says that our mind quickly forgets the finished task. अगर आपने कोई भी कार्य कर लिया, what will happen? You will become light. आप भूल जाएंगे, भाई कार्य खत्म हुआ, I am perfectly fine. But if a task is not completely finished, it will continuously interrupt you with unfinished task. And these intrusions are what is called as a Zeigarnik Effect. Look at this. अगर आपने कोई कार्य को finish किया, if you completely finished, only few portion of your brain will actually remember it, very small portion. But incomplete task will keep on bothering your mind, and you would not be able to be in a state of comfortability. That is why this law very importantly tells us to finish and channelize the important task judiciously. Look at this. अगर हम अपने incomplete task को अपने मन में रखते हैं, it will lead to stressful and intrusive thoughts. That is what is happening today. We start multiple things simultaneously and we allow ourselves to get disturbed repeatedly. These thoughts reduce our sleep. They promote anxiety in our life, and also they deplete our person's mental and emotional resources, causing maladaptive behaviors. Uski personality disordered ho jati hai. He becomes unhappy, and both personal and professional life is grossly mismanaged. They are not at all feeling very, very comfortable. So that is why Zeigarnik Effect gives you a very powerful lesson that we must not leave incomplete task for a long. We must go on to the proper time management to have a good to-do list and completely and comprehensively complete the to-do list for that particular day. That is what Zeigarnik Effect tells us. And the eighth law, which is called the law of inertia. We all have read this thing, which is called the Newton's first law of motion. What does it say? A body at rest will remain at rest, and a body in motion will remain in motion unless and until it is acted by an external force. That means it tells you that if you are not proactive in your life, if you don't do any action or don't do anything, your body and mind will completely remain at rest. So if you want a proper time management in your life, the power to do that particular management is only and only with you. Your organization, your colleagues, your people around you are not going to work on that. Only you have to do with this particular thing. And that is why this law becomes the most important law for transformation, for managing your time. And what I often say is that if you don't change anything, nothing is going to change in your life. I remember a very beautiful story कि एक महात्मा होता था, और वो महात्मा जो था, he used to meditate frequently, but every now and then he will look into a mirror 2 times. People were really disheartened. They were really disturbed that a saint meditating, why would he look into the mirror frequently 2 times? वो उस महात्मा के पास गए and they started asking him कि why do you see this mirror repeatedly? So he smilingly said to them कि बेटा जब भी मैं शीशे को देखता हूँ तो शीशे के अंदर मेरी समस्याओं का जो कारण होता है वो मुझे दिखता है. जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है मैं शीशे को पहली बार देखता हूँ. तो they started smiling and said कि sir, you would be seeing, saint, you would be seeing only your own reflection. He said that is very fine. That is what I want to say. That the source of all the problems in my life is not outside, not the organizations, not the people, not the nature, not the government. The source of all the problems in my life and in your life is you yourself. So they were really flabbergasted with this. They were really happy. They said that is nicely we understand. But why do you see the mirror second time? The saint started smiling and said that when I see the mirror second time, I'm able to see the solution to all the problems in my life. They again started smiling. Again, you would be seeing your own reflection. He said, absolutely. If the source of all the problems in my life is myself, even the solution of all the problems in my life is with me. And that is why, my dear friends, management of time requires a mantra. And that mantra is not outside, that mantra is self transformation. You have to inculcate that particular change in your life. So, what are those 7 small steps of time management that we need to inculcate in our life? We don't have a Hermione like time turner with us, like a Harry Potter series. This guy had a beautiful time turner machine, and he could accommodate all the extra things in his or her life as he wanted to do. We all wish that we have that kind of a time machine that we can accommodate more and more in our life. But I am going to steer you through very simple mantras of life so that you can adjust and do all the things, accommodate all the things in your mind, in your life to achieve success and have all the best things that you want in your life. The first mantra is the Eisenhower's matrix. You all know this is called the decision matrix. Now, all of you can note down, and these are very simple things. They are not only for the professional organization, they are for our children also, they are for our own personal life, they are all for everyone. Now, look at this. There are tasks in our life which are urgent, and there are tasks in our life which are not urgent. There are tasks in our life which are important, and there are some tasks that are not important. So, if a task is urgent and it is important, like a very important file to be cleared urgently, a boss's orders has come, your decision is place it in first matrix and press the alarm button and do it now. Do it now. That's the mantra. Now, there could be a task that is important, but it is not urgent. Like you need to do something like empowerment, something like building relationships, something like you have to get something for home, which is very, very important, but you're in an office and that is not urgent. Then you can schedule a time that, yes, I will buy this particular thing at this time, but this office time is not this for this particular task. So you can decide and schedule a time for that particular thing, and you can put it into the second box. Now, there could be an urgent task, but it is not important. It could be an urgent task, but it is not important. Like it could be important payment for a bill. You want to pay your home bill. Today is the last date. You want to pay a bill of your mobile. Today is the last date. There could be something else also. What do? If you are busy, place this in the third matrix and delegate somebody to do it. Ask somebody, your associate, your family member, that I am busy today. I won't be able to do. This is an urgent task, but not important. Can you do it for me? Delegate it to somebody. And then there are tasks in our life that are neither urgent nor important. Like you want to watch a movie. Suddenly you are sitting in an office and you want to say that I want to watch a movie, I want to do particular task. Yes, it is good. There's no problem. You want to watch television, listen to a music. It is important at a particular time, but neither it is urgent nor it is important. Then eliminate it. When you are done with all the urgent and important matters, you can delegate a time for this particular task later on. Eliminate it at that particular time. Otherwise, it will keep on intuitively troubling you. Like, look at this. A typical examples is like it is neither urgent important, playing a game, watching TV, having a coffee break, or a social media surfing. You have to avoid at that particular time when you are in midst of something. Like if you have some important phone calls, some important bills to be paid, delegate to this task to somebody. That look at this. It is important but not urgent. You really need to have some rest. You really need to have or do one particular thing. Schedule a time for that thing. Schedule a time. You want to visit some particular place. Yes, you schedule a time, but it is not urgent. But there are tasks which are very, very important, which are emergencies, which are files to be completed. You must do it now. The major challenges that we face in our life is that we mix all the four and we are not delegating our time. So Eisenhower gave a very beautiful example that if you are having 20 tasks to do in a single day, put them into these 4 boxes and then prioritize them accordingly. Very important, you remember a beautiful story of a teacher who comes to a class. ये कहानी आपने सबने सुनी होगी. He brings a flask He brings a lot of stones with him and fills the whole task jar with a stone and asks the student कि भाई क्या ये jar full है stone से? Everybody said yes sir, it is full. So he started smiling and he took out a lot of sand and he started pouring sand in the same flask. The sand started trickling between the stones and started making the jar even full. And he asked the students, now it is full. Said, yes sir, now it is full. He again started smiling and said, took out water and started pouring water into that particular jar, and water also was accommodated that in that particular task. So it is very, very important that we must understand that all these tasks can be done, but you have to really prioritize what is important in your life. Priority is very important, and this Eisenhower Matrix is very, very successful and powerful tool. It is especially useful for those people who have tough decisions to make and who are critical thinkers. Once you have tough decisions, must use Eisenhower Matrix if you are at that particular position. Set your priorities into these 4 boxes very clearly, and you will see that all your schedules are running on time. The second way is the time boxing. That is called the Elon Musk technique, a very beautiful technique given by Elon Musk. This is called time boxing. Now, what should we do in time boxing? That means the whole day is planned into a planner. Many of you must be using it. Your schedules, your times is divided hourly in all the work, and each box is planned according to the schedule and the task that you need to do. They are also including some breaks. They are including important projects that are to be discussed about. They have time for phone calls. Everything is there. If you are time boxing your technique, it is really helpful. Then everything that runs according to this time boxing will be on particular place. Look at this. For this, you must have to estimate that how much time each activity will take. Remember, when you are boxing a particular technique, you have to have an extra space. Keep time for extra interruptions. Yeah, maybe you are in an office, your friends or your boss walks in, wants to talk to you for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You have to include or have that particular margin as a space in your life. The second is you must schedule time for all the activities, not just for work, but all the activities, your time must be scheduled. Space your time for your own self also. In the time boxing, it is not just your professional, but take out time for your breaks, for your time for your social media, for talking to your family. Everything has to be boxed completely and charted throughout the day. This is a very beautiful technique, and it is very important that we do not overschedule. Remember, in time boxing, the golden mantra, the underlying rule which is very important is do not overschedule. Allocate your time to friends and family. Give out time for friends and family. And also, it is very important to time box for the next day. Keep a diary. Plan out the day for next day and again prepare a time box. It is great for students and analytical thinkers. जो बच्चे जिनके मल्टीपल असाइनमेंट्स होते हैं, जिनके टास्क होते हैं, if they are using this time boxing technique, I will give this much time for this subject, I will give this much time for this subject. This is what I used to do when I was doing my MBBS. I would have a chart and I would say for 2 hours I will read pathology, for 1 hour I will read this thing. And when I used to follow schedule, taking out time for my breaks, I really used to be very light. The absorption of that particular knowledge used to be much more powerful. And also for the analytical thinkers, for professionals who are into analysis, into some really critical thinking, this time boxing technique is really, really useful. So that is why we must use this particular technique, and this is the second mantra that we all must use. The third powerful tool is the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro technique was given by Francesco Cirillo. This is the most commonly and very, very powerful technique that people across the world have used. Now, Pomodoro is a word for tomato, and this is especially useful when you have large amounts of work. Now, people who have, who are overstressed, who have large amounts of work, what is the biggest challenge that they face? The biggest challenge is they get fatigued. They really get exhausted. Like I showed you, one of the problems is using a long working hours. And now this technique has really transformed the way of working. Look at this technique, and you can use this technique in your own life. This technique says that you choose a task that needs to be completed. Maybe it's a very difficult task. Decide what is the task that is to be completed and set a timer of 25 minutes. Very beautifully it says. Now there are Pomodoro watches that come. You can have a stopwatch also. You can also have an alarm system also. And let me tell you, this is fantastic. Set a timer for 25 minutes, and after 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. 5-minute break. Work on your task till the timer rings, and after every task, take a 5 minutes break. Repeat this 4 times. 25 minutes working, 5 minutes rest. 25 minutes working, 5 minutes rest. 25 minutes working, 5 minutes rest. And after you have done 2 hours of working on a very tedious task, take a 15 minutes to 30 minutes break and relax. So you will see that when we are programming our brain in such a way, your focus, you will say, Doctor, this seems really interesting, but how does it help you? It is helping because your mind is now programmed. It knows that after working hard for 25 minutes, you are going to get a break of 5 minutes. You are incentivizing your brain. You are telling your brain and mind that after 25 minutes of good focus, you will get a 5-minute break. So these 25 minutes will be very, very powerful and beautifully focused mind working on that particular task. That is how this particular technique really transforms our life. So this is really useful, especially when you have large amount of work. It helps us in focusing on one task at a time. One task at a time. It gives you also a break to rejuvenate, to refocus on the work again. And then after 4 such cycles, you see your productivity and your actual utilization and optimal use of 24 hours is much better than when you are working continuously. So reward yourself. You know, we always work on incentive. We'll say to our kids, अगर आप ये पढ़ाई करके आओगे तो हम आपको chocolate देंगे. So similarly, you tell your brain that after 25 minutes of work, I will give you 5 minutes of relaxation. You can do whatever you want to do in that particular time, and then again coming to that 25 minutes. You do it for 1 week, your brain will become completely programmed to this particular task. What if you are finding to making schedules really difficult? कई बारी हमें लगता है कि भाई schedules हमारे लिए बहुत difficult हैं. I'm unable to make these schedules, I'm unable to maintain these schedules. It doesn't matter. Then comes the 4th technique, that is called the Kevin Systrom technique. Just do it. If you find I've wasted so much time, a work that has to be done, then you just do it at that particular time. Why? Because time will not wait for anyone. So this is a technique that I often follow in my schedules, that if I see that this particular task needs important, it needs to be completed, I don't program and plan a day. I will particularly spend my whole time in that particular technique, and I'll do it at that particular time. This is what Instagram owner Kevin Systrom has used in his particular life. So try this. You can mix and match various techniques of time management, but if a task is really important, you don't want to plan out your day, use this technique. Just do it at that particular time. Include it in your schedule, and you will see you will have success most of the times. The 5th technique, that is very, very powerful technique, is called Eat That Frog. We all have learned this in management mantra. And what does this technique do? This was given to us by our revered, our dear old philosopher writer Mark Twain. And what did he say? He said that if it is your job to eat a frog, it is the best to do first thing in the morning. If somebody has told you that your job is to eat a frog, don't wait. Do it and finish it first thing in the morning. And if it is your job to eat 2 frogs, it is best to eat the biggest one first. सबसे पहले बड़े वाले को करो. But it's not just about eating a frog, my dear friend. That frog here refers to the task or the important job that you have been assigned in your work. Now, it tells you that identify your frog. Identify your frog means hardest and most important task of the day. The first one, very, very important. Eat it. That means get up in the morning. If it requires 30 minutes, hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, do that particular task first thing in the morning, and do it repeatedly every day. You will be amazed to see that you will be relieved throughout the day. You will gain confidence, and your performance will be much better on the other task. Why? Because the pressure of doing that difficult task will practically go away. So this is a very beautiful technique to channelize your day, channelize and program your day for optimal time management. So use this very powerful technique. Like, you know, if I am to plan a day, if I have an operating day, like today I was operating from early in the morning. So what I will do is, if I have a difficult case to do, I will not wait it to be put it and third, fourth or sixth case. I will do it as a first case in the morning. Why? Because if I'm operating a routine case, that subconscious mind will keep on bothering me that you also have to do a difficult case, and that might affect my performance on the other task. But the moment I come victorious after doing a difficult task first, I'm in a much better comfortability level to do the other task, and I also gain confidence after completing a difficult task in my life. So that is why eat that frog, that's a fifth and a very powerful mantra that one should be using in his or her life. The sixth mantra for an optimal time management, is a beautiful mantra for optimal time management, is rewarding yourself. Rewarding yourself, This is a very beautiful technique for yourself, for kids, and it's good to be a kid often in your own life, even if you're professionally at any particular level. I often do it that, if I'm able to complete this particular task, I will reward myself with a chocolate, I will reward myself with a coffee, I will reward myself with the use of social media. And you can actually plan your whole day. You can plan your whole day, which is called the incentive theory, because our behavior is dictated by a desire of external rewards. It could be something, it could be anything, it could be reading a book, it could be eating something, it could be playing, it could be anything. You didn't did you tell your children that if you are able to do this particular assignment, I will give you 1 hour break to play? This is what my dad used to do. He would set me an assignment of 20-30 questions, and I would do that, and he would say that if you complete this in 1 hour, I will give you 1 hour to play. So that incentive in my brain is making me do that particular task more beautifully, in a more organized and in a faster way. Now, what happens is, in this incentive theory, you can use a technique of interrupt coalescing. When you are working, there are multiple thoughts that are intruding into your brain. I want to check a mobile, I want to have a coffee, I want to talk to this person. It could be anything. So what you do is, all that is interrupting your brain, you set it as a reward. Merge all the interruptions into one as a reward. That means if Mohit is able to finish this particular task, then he will be rewarded with 30 minutes of whatever he want to do, and those tasks could be whatever has been troubling my brain. So this is how beautifully you can reward yourself, incentivize yourself, and improve your performance in a more powerful and a much more beautiful way. So reward yourself. Plan your day such beautifully that your work becomes like a pleasure. That is very important. That is very important for all of us to do. The seventh mantra for having a good time management is the art of learning to say no. Now, this is one of the very hardest things. Most of us, they will try to accommodate everything that is coming to us. Sometimes, depending on your capability, sometimes depending on the task that is at hand for you, it is very important that we realize that there are certain things that are neither important nor urgent, and neither they are doable for us. It is always good to say no, because no itself is a complete sentence. It does not require satisfaction of other people. It also does not require explanation if it is done in a proper way. And when we say no, we are buying peace, and we are also buying happiness for ourselves if it is justified at that particular time. So remember, out of 1442 minutes, keep out time for your own self, but don't fit in those tasks that are totally unimportant and they are totally non-urgent. Otherwise, you'll find yourself missing the important as well as the urgent task of your life. And the last mantra is, take out time for your own self. Nothing is going to work for you. All these laws of time, all these laws of time are not going to work for you until and unless we are able to manage our own selves, my dear friend. What is the control center? Who is managing? Who is falling in place into all these time management techniques? It's our own brain. It's our own mind that is working. Today, your brain, your mind has 70 to 80,000 thoughts that it is creating every day. And unfortunately, out of those 60 to 70, 80,000 thoughts that your brain generates every day, 95 to 99% of the thoughts are waste, are useless, are negative, and are purposeless thoughts. This is what Natural Science Foundation Project 2005 has clearly revealed. Now imagine, if only 5% of your thoughts are positive, powerful and purposeful, this reveals the quality of your existence on earth. What is the quality of life that you are living on your earth? This shows that our practical output, imagine any office, any organization producing 50,000 to 70,000 products, and 90% of these products are not usable, are useless. What would you call that particular factory as? Useful or a useless factory? It's a useless factory. This is what is happening. None of these techniques is going to work until and unless we are in complete harmony with our own selves. We need to take care of our mind. We need to energize our mind. My dear friends, your mind is a beautiful servant. It's a beautiful servant. But when you let it loose, it becomes a very, very dangerous master. If you allow mind to control you, your life becomes a real disturbed lot. But as far as you make it your friend and you control it, your life will always be a pleasure. And for controlling your mind, making your mind best friend, the most powerful affirmation and exercise that we all need to do every day is to meditate. You see, you charge your mobile, you charge your laptop, you charge your devices every day, don't you? You all do. But let me ask you, how much time do you take out of your life to charge your own inner self? Ask yourself. It is so important. Your mind is working continuously from your birth till this particular day. Are you able to give it some space, some time to relax and rejuvenate? We are not able to give. Whenever we are spacing ourselves, whenever we are relaxing our mind, whenever we are allowing it to think, in a more comprehensive, in a more clear way, we are giving it more space, our thinking becomes slow. Our thinking becomes less. Our thoughts are lesser in number. Our thoughts are slower in number. And any appliance, any energy capsule which is slow and which is thinking less, its output is much better in our lives. Meditation is a very powerful tool to actually supplement your brain, energize your brain, relax your brain. It's about giving space to your own self. And whenever you give space to your own self, you are able to experience the 7 most beautiful inner qualities. Whenever you are in state of meditation, when you are giving time of 5 minutes to yourself, you are getting empowered with purity, with happiness, with love, with peace, with bliss, the Anandam Sthiti, and with power and knowledge. These are your innate traits. These are your powerful traits. These are the traits that make your mind very peaceful and very powerful, very happy, very comfortable. These are the traits that will completely transform your life. My dear friends, meditation relaxes your brain, relaxes yourself. It's about realizing that you are not just this body, but you are a consciousness, you are an energy, you are a God spot, you are a light, you are a soul residing in this body. Time management becomes a problem when we are working or our life is being controlled by our ego and everything external. But when we internalize in our own selves, when our mind is at completely peace, it's in complete harmony, what will happen? Our whole energy is flowing positively, and wherever our energy is going, attention is going, our energy is flowing. If we are attentive about our own thoughts, we are taking care of our own thoughts, we are managing our thoughts well, our energy is also being managed more comprehensively. And when our energy and attention both are in harmony with each other, our whole life will be in complete harmony with each other. My dear friends, people have prescribed numerous ways and techniques to manage your time. But I have strongly lived and believed that a harmonious mind, a peaceful mind, a stable mind is what can create an optimal and a powerful time management. You don't need to be extraordinary, you don't need to be brilliant, you don't need to be extra knowledgeable to manage your time. What you need is to have a peaceful, a loving, and a happy self. A self, a mind that is completely peaceful, happy, and very loving is in complete harmony with self and also the nature. And I'll tell you why this is important, because today we are taught to work with our left brain, which is called our analytical brain, the reasoning brain, the strategic brain, the accurate brain, the decisive brain, and we think we are performing very optimally. We don't believe in any other thing at all. Remember, even if you are using your left brain most optimally, your performance will be only 50% of what you can give. But when you are meditating, you give rest to yourself, you activate your right brain, and that right brain is peaceful, is loving. That right brain is really creative and passionate, it is intuitive, and it is a free brain. This is what creates a holistic management of yourself and your time. This is what gives you proper judgment power. This is what gives you a more beautiful decisive power, and you can completely design your destiny. My dear friends, when you are not managing yourself properly, this is the kind of brain that you have. Look at this, the dyssynchrony between both the atmospheres, both the hemispheres of brain. You are not able to function properly. Your time management will be improper. You will be prone to anxiety, depression, and poor mental health. You may sleep, you may eat, you may do anything. You may have the best of the atmospheres, but your brain is not in harmony. Your performance and time management will always be suboptimal. But 20 minutes of meditation will give you a more integrated, more optimized, and a beautifully performing system. Very powerfully performing system. In 25 minutes, it's pure magic in your brain. Such kind of brain, a balance between right and left brain, will synchronize, will improve your performance. It will decrease the time taken to complete a task, and you will not be distracted. You will be able to manage everything very, very well. All these techniques will naturally fall in place when your mind is in complete harmony with your own self and with your thoughts. That is very important. So that is why my message to you is that optimal time management is nothing outside. All these techniques are great. We must remember the laws. There is no doubt about it. But the step and the transformation starts with self transformation. The most powerful way to have an optimal time management is to manage your own self, to be very peaceful, to be very happy, to be very calm and composed in your life. The most beautiful way to inculcate this technique is in your life is to meditate. So let us experience few minutes of Rajyoga meditation. I will take you on a very beautiful journey. Just be with me and enjoy a beautiful flow of thoughts. Sit back and relax very comfortably and just let go of all the negative energy. Take a deep breath and inhale love and peace. And as you exhale all the negative energies, the anger, the irritation, the criticism, the complaint in your life. See yourself as a point of light, as an energy residing in your costume. My mind is absolutely cool and calm. I allow vibrations of peace, of purity, of God's love to shower my soul. My every thought becomes peaceful. I allow all this energy to radiate in my own body and to all the people and my profession. I'm absolutely relaxed. I have the power to do all the tasks constructively, beautifully, and without wasting time. I allow myself to transform my inner thoughts. I am Shakti. I have the power to design my own destiny. I allow all the vibrations of purity and love to encompass myself like an aura of peace and purity. Let me sit back and relax in this way. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, meditation is one of the very powerful ways to empower yourself. And remember, how will your life become? If you are able to empower yourself, it will become more and more beautiful. Everything will fall in place. Your whole time and everything will be completely perfect. You don't actually need to manage anything. You just need to manage your own self. And you see, your life will create magic. It will give you the best and the most abundant things in your life. So the power is with all of us. So I hope you'll be able to take some points out of it and you'll be able to design your own destiny. Manage your time. These 24 hours, 1440 minutes are God's gift to you. Take out time for your own self, for your family. Take out time to completely reform your life. Have a spice of meditation, have a spice of spirituality, and you will see your life will become a joy to live. Thank you and Om Shanti.
Thank you, sir. If any query is there from participants, and can ask. Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Your voice is not clear, actually. I think.
Sir, one question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
If any task is dependent on someone else, which is required to be completed in a stipulated time, how can we control them? How can we get that work done in a time-bound manner?
So biggest mistake that we do in our life is that we think that we can control other people. That is
Yeah.
not possible. That is often not possible. So the best way is you require a balance of love and law. So giving a reasonable deadlines, a proper reminder to the other person, and having a plan B which is activated will keep you relaxed and cool. This requires the understanding of the capabilities of the other person, of the logistics of the other person. So if you decide the capability of a elephant to climb on a tree, you will never be able to be successful, isn't it? And if you
Yeah.
decide your capability of a fish to climb or fly, it will never be possible. So this whole thing requires a very judicious and a very timely approach. Very, very important. That is most important. This will make you stress free. An incapable person, if assigned with a task which is very important, will only add up to your stress and you will find yourself ultimately doing the task yourself. So that is why proper delegation and proper choices are important. And if you think you have made a proper choice, then proper reminder, friendly reminder, empowering that person, making that person believe that yes, he can do it, will invariably make that person succeed in his life. These are my mantras for this.
Sir, when we don't have any other option, then what is the solution?
then you have to accept,
that.
then you have to accept it and ask yourself to get into the business to decrease your stress. If you think that that thing has to come to you, then you have to get into the system right from the beginning and help and facilitate the task with your own thing. That's a simple thing. That is what happens. Like, you know, if I know that a particular case is difficult and I allow my juniors to please do it, and he won't be able to do it, I know I have to take a control. That is why accepting that particular thing, taking control, is very, very important in certain situations.
So it finally the result is ultimately we have to do that job.
So it's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of perspective. Again, if I say that, you know, agar mujhe hi karna hai, to what is the purpose of that thing? Again, these are organizational things. But remember, this statement comes out of the thought that usko to karna hi nahi hai, he's incapable. So you're already telling the other person that you're labeling him. You're passing a judgment on the other person that he's incapable, he won't do, or mujhe hi karna hai. That is going to give you a lot of stress. An incapable person can be at least made to do or generate that level of capability which will at least keep you stress free. Very, very important. If you train a particular person in the right way, he can at least be a helping hand even if you are doing the task, if he's not able to do the most important thing. So get into the work, but use his capabilities or his abilities in the best possible form in whatever way you can at particular situation.
Okay. Sir, this is out of the routine thing. In most of the organizations nowadays, what happens, even the bosses, they will select the capable persons and assign the task to them only. And they'll just leave the incapable persons. And as you said, we have to bring out the incapable persons to some level of capabilities. But the bosses, if they don't assign any task to them with a judgment that they are incapable and just leaving them like that, then how the capable persons can take the stress and all? How can they reduce that load?
I will tell you my mantra. I am not concerned about what decision management is taking for the incapable persons. That is not my domain. I can talk about my own self, definitely. If I think that I am overloaded, one of the mantras that I gave you is learn to say no. This is beyond my capacity. That's it. Simple. A human brain can work in a particular way. If it goes beyond your capacity, you should learn to say no, and that no itself is a complete statement. Very, very important. So if I think I cannot operate, I will obviously say that it is not possible at all. It is not possible at all. And if it is not possible, I won't stress myself on taking that particular task. Saying this, if it hurts somebody, that is not your work. But you can politely say that I will be able to take this only when I'm completely and happily able to complete this particular task and with a sufficient brain. Do that particular thing, isn't it? But again and again, I'm saying you, judgment and deciding about the capabilities of other people is something that is not your work. That he is not being given task, why I'm being given, no. You talk about your own self. Time management requires that any external force should not bother me in a particular way. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Our chairman, respected chairman, sir, Shri R. Aparaj, also with us. So I request chairman sir to please give us remark.
Thank you, our honorable guest speaker, Mr. Gupta, Dr. Gupta. Very exciting talk, very informative talk, and really at the end of the talk is very, very interesting, and that is what everybody has to do. At least half an hour meditation, if you do every day, you will manage everything yourself. That means your inner awareness develops, mind is at peace, and you will live in harmony with others. Definitely, this is one of the important messages of the 7 laws of time management, 7 technique of time management. Both has been brought out in parallel. And eat the frog first is very important because accept the challenge and do that very first. If it is a very strenuous job or hard job, that definitely is one of the important messages. That you don't think that somebody is incapable. Of course, he has correctly answered. You are not supposed to blame others. Actually, every system works in a proper way. This topic is about time management, and time management is very well brought out. And everyone should apply some technique. Maybe like Elon Musk, boxing, time boxing, whatever you maintain the time, whatever it is. So, as individual, you must take up some technique and apply it to your professional career. That's what the whole message. And definitely 15-20 minutes silence, morning 15-20 minutes silence will enhance your productivity for the whole day. There's no doubt about it. I agree with Dr. Gupta. Definitely, I myself practice half an hour silence. It definitely enhances everybody's productivity in addition to yourself and everyone else. So I once again thank Dr. Gupta for enlightening everyone else, including you. I
Thank you so much, sir.
I
Thank you.
really enjoyed your lecture, and it's a very good message is there. I'm sure all the DRDC participants would have benefited by your rich experience and very well brought out, good with the diagrams, schematics, and all that. It's very interesting to see those images of these harmony everything. So I'm sure all our participants would have benefited. Thank you for enlightening us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohit Gupta, sir, for giving your time for DRDO. And you have covered your topic very nicely and scientifically. You have chosen for this topic. So thank you very much for that also. And as you have covered in 781 formula, in your topics, like 7 law regarding the time and 8 time management mantras, and one solution is the meditation. So thank you very much, sir, and once again thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and Om Shanti. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Okay. So, dear participants, we'll break for the lunch now, and our next topic, next session will be started on 2 o'clock. So you need to join 10 minutes before that. So 1:50 you can join.